Divine beings, how are you guys? I know you're like, where in the world is she at? I'm actually in the back of my truck, just sitting with the seats laid down. So I'm usually always like in my front seat when I'm recording for you guys, but I am at work, so I just laid everything flat and I'm just kind of laying back here because when I'm on my job, I'm working on other things that I'm creating. So that I can create the life that I want. You know, I'm always talking about that. And I know that I'm not really kind of walking through the process with you guys, but I will, because it's one of those things that where I don't want to talk too much about it while I'm in the process, because I just want to kind of keep it low key, for reasons of once it's out there, once it's off the ground, then yeah, I'll talk about it then, and then I can talk about the process at that point. But I just want to keep it quiet until it's off the ground completely. And everything is looking good. Anyway, enough about me. How are you guys? Hi, Divine Beings. What's going on? I know I was a little emotional yesterday, but I feel so much better today. So here I am, chatting with you guys. It's Wednesday. You know, I usually always check in with you guys on Wednesdays. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays are my days, and sometimes I, get with you guys on the weekend. So I might chime in with you guys on the weekend. Thinking about a little something. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna bring you guys with me or if I'm gonna keep it quiet. I'm not sure. Because I've been working pretty diligently and hard this weekend, getting done what I need to get done. So I'm excited, and I'm proud of myself because I've been consistent. Because I really want to see this thing through till the end, what I'm working on. But I hope you all are well, and if you are not, like I was yesterday, I was not doing too good. But my entire day wasn't like that. It just was while I was speaking with you guys, I was having a moment, and then the beginning of my day was just a little rough. But after speaking with you guys and getting into my creative work, I felt better, and then from there on, I was good. But I hope that if you are not well, that you are taking the steps to get into a much better place, whatever that means for you. And as you are navigating, trying to figure out what that space is for you, where you can be in a better mental space, a better physical space, a better emotional space, a better financial space, all of that, right? I hope that you remain encouraged in knowing that you are loved and supported during your journey. And just always trust that if it's not in the physical, there is support out there for you in the physical if you so choose to seek it out. But you always have God, and you always have your angelic support in the ethers that is with you. And whether you feel that they're there or not, they are. I can attest to that firmly and 1000%. But this is for those of you that have trust issues. Trust issues, anyone? I have trust issues because I have been, betrayed all of my life by mostly, if not all of the people that I've known in the past. I have two people that are soulmates for me that I have connections with now that I can trust. But there is still a lot of work to be done. And some of you out there don't have not even one person you can trust. And I was once in that space before I became a mom. And my son became of age where, I was beginning to see his character and who he was, and the role he played in my life as far as the source of support that he was to be for me. Before that, I didn't have anyone either. So I know what it feels like when you are at a point where I feel like I kind of got to tilt my head because of this part. I'm going to move this like this. Because usually when I'm talking, it's like I'm up front. So I have the phone on the steering wheel, and it's like all in my grill. It's like too close, and you can like count the nose hairs and my nostrils, and it's like I don't like it that close. So I'm gonna start doing it, putting it where it's far away. And I don't have all these fancy tools where, I can mount my phone on something. I'm not buying all that stuff. Like, I'm good. I do have one of those cute little microphones though, that has like the fuzzy little fur on it, the fall fur, and it's so cute. But I don't even really use it. Like, I need to use it because I paid for it. I got it like at like Five Below, and it was like $6. But anyway, for those of you that don't even have that one person, and you've been betrayed, time and time again, and you're tired of pulling the 10 swords out of your back, or even more, it's like, opening up to the opportunity of trusting again is, that is difficult. Even getting to a place where, one of my friends that is near and dear to my heart, trusting that person it was challenging, but I feel like, that's normal. It's going to be challenging to trust in the beginning as people come along your path, as you're doing your healing work, because you have to be mindful that if there's, trust we're having to heal along with other issues, you're going to be met with tests. And these tests may not necessarily be people that you can trust, because they're testing something in you that you need to heal. And so we can tend to mistake these people that come along that are simply to test us, to help us to grow, to heal and close wounds that are an issue, so that the people that we can trust can come in. When we get these people confused for, individuals that we can trust, it still can be tricky. And I know that's probably complicated even in the way that I explained it. But we have to heal in order for the people that we can trust to come in, so that we don't sabotage those trustworthy connections. So healing work must be done before trustworthy connections can come in. And then again, once you have done the proper healing work to a point where God feels that you're ready for trustworthy and healing energies to come in for you to be a source of support, and whatever that may be for you individually, then, that's where you've healed enough, like I said, to where, you can lean on these people. But, at the same time, like I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I do that a lot. But my poor brain has been through a lot. But like I said before, time combined with intuition and discernment are going to be very useful tools when being met with people in situations, wondering if you can trust them or not. So if you're not sure, of course, you don't go into a situation trusting it, like we've done that in the past, right? When we were naive and gullible and we didn't know any better. But once you know better, you learn how this whole thing works, that you don't just give trust out willingly anyway. People have to earn your trust. And when people say, "Oh, you can trust me," or and some people may come up to you and say, "Well, I feel like I can trust you," and that's cool and everything, because you may be a trustworthy person. But I know for me, when somebody comes to me and says, "Well, you can trust me," it's like, okay, that's beautiful that you've assured me that I can trust you, but I'm going to make sure that I do my own due diligence by exercising time and using my intuition and discernment in finding out for myself if I can trust you or not. And all of, time will reveal that. Your discernment will reveal that. Your intuition will reveal that. And again, discernment is when you're working with the conscious side of the mind, and intuition is when you are working with the unconscious side of the mind, or the more spiritual side of yourself. So, working through trust issues is a big deal, because again, like I said, when you are met with the connections that are for you, you don't want to sabotage them because you have trust issues. So trust is a big thing and it is on my list too. I am revealing something else to you all that is on my list. But like I said, how I'm healing my trust issues is, I have gotten rid of the mindset of, okay, you know, everybody's on BS and everybody's out to get me and screw me over. It's like once you remove yourself out of the whole victim mentality mindset, then you no longer think like that. Because first of all, it's not even true. Not everybody in this life is meant to screw you over. And in fact, if you got screwed over, that is because you trusted too soon. Or maybe if not too soon, you ignored the red flags and you still trusted a situation that you know felt off. Or you trusted a person that you knew felt off. And you ended up screwing yourself over. And again, this is not calling you out or even myself out in regard to past situations where this happened. It's just a learning curve. This is just something that we had to learn. It's something that I had to learn. And I don't beat myself up about it. It's just we have to learn these harsh lessons so that we know what to trust. You are shown what not to trust so that you know what it looks like, so that you know what it feels like. So when what comes along, along your path that you can trust, I'm not saying that the right way, but whenever what comes along is for you to trust, let's put it like that, then you'll recognize it, you'll know it, because it'll feel right. You know what I mean? It'll feel right. It won't feel off. It won't make you feel confused. You won't have to second guess it. You won't have to keep questioning it every 5 minutes. You won't feel gaslit. You won't made to be out to look like a fool. It'll feel right. That's why it's always good to, as you learn how to balance your emotions and you mature spiritually, you can trust how you feel. You can trust how you feel by using your intuition and discernment as well, along with time. But yes, that is on my list too. And those are the 3 tools, like I said, that I utilize to provide me with having the confidence to choose something that I know I can trust. Right? And if I know I can't, then I just won't even mess with it. If it feels off, I just won't even mess with it. Just period. So, I was going to say something. I'm hoping I can remember what I was going to say. Nope. It's gone. Okay. But anyway, it's the middle of the week, so for those of you that are still working and still in the matrix, such as myself, gratitude though that I have a job. I'm not complaining. Oh, I was just going to say, as you move out of that victim mentality, for those of you that are still dealing with that and healing that, like I said, you will be able to remove that thought process of I can't trust anyone because no one is trustworthy. And like I said, those are all lies of the enemy. See, the enemy, that's what I'm saying. The enemy always puts on our plates all the BS, so that when all the good stuff comes in after you've healed and worked hard on yourself and you've transformed into the person that you were always meant to be on a soul level, it almost puts you in this position, the enemy I'm talking about now, the enemy puts you in this position where, when the right thing comes along, you are scared to choose it because all you've known was the wrong thing. All you've known is betrayal. All you've known is heartbreak. And, that's, like I said, that is where we have to be strong and courageous and do our inner healing work, because when we come out away from all of that for those of us that do our work. For those of us that come away from that do our work, and we heal enough to be able to decipher between the two, what we can and cannot trust. Having the courage to choose what we can trust and what is for us will be difficult, especially when you have just come out of all of the storms of everything that was not for you. But again, all of that was to show you, how to recognize what's not for you. And my hope is that, after all of the storms have cleared and all of the beautiful tangible things and intangible things that are meant for you start to pour in through the fresh breezes, that you will choose them. But you have free will. You don't have to. I just feel that if something that you've always desired in your heart is for you, if you don't choose it, I feel that there's just going to be this space of regret where you wish you'd given it an opportunity. That is what is for you. People or situations or opportunities, right? So the enemy's plan is, like I said, to get you so beaten down, beat up, and bruised and heartbroken to a point where you don't trust anything or anyone. So then what comes along for you, you don't end up choosing it. So don't get tricked. Don't get tricked. Do your healing work, do your shadow work, so that you don't get tricked out of what is for you. So that you can take hold of your beautiful life. Don't you want that beautiful life? For those of you that still desire that beautiful life, I know that I do. I had gotten down so much to a point where I didn't even have, for a very long time, I didn't even have the desire for really too much of anything in this life. I was just like, okay, here we are. We're doing this again. We're waking up. Here's this long to-do list. Just existing, but it's like, when you come away from that and you want to actually live a life where you are living and you want to be able to create that beauty, don't you want to be able to hold it in your hands, pull it out of the sky and hold it in your hands and take advantage of all that is for you? And that is something else, because of all of the trauma that we've endured via the enemy. We can sabotage that for ourselves. We can, because of the enemy and all of the damage that is done, if we don't do our proper healing work, we can sabotage. We can end up sabotaging what God knows that you truly desire to have in your heart. So that is why I encourage you all every day. That is why I encourage you all every day, because the hell, which is an illusion, the hell that you feel and see in front of you is not real. It is disguising this beautiful life that's waiting for you once you blossom into the new version of yourself. Once you let go of all of the enemy's lies and this illusion that they've cast in front of you that it was never meant for you. But let's heal our trust issues. Let's heal our trust issues. Let's keep working on them so that we don't miss out on all these beautiful opportunities that were always destined for us, that God wants us to have, for our lives. But we got to keep healing, though. There's that part. We got to keep healing. And I know it's not easy, and I know y'all getting tired of me saying that. She's talking about healing. Well, this channel is about healing. I mean, I'm going to talk about it every time I come on here. Healing, 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 healing. 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 So important. So I got you guys' back. I got you covered. You know, we will keep working on things together. I'm on this healing journey with you all. You're not by yourself. That's why I always tell you, you're not by yourself. I, myself, and so many others that have other communities that they've created on YouTube we all in this together. So you're not alone. And like I said, whether you become a part of my community or another community, which I always encourage, you all to find other channels that are uplifting and encouraging to you. Because, you may resonate with someone else, or you may resonate better with someone else other than myself, That's why there's so many of us out there uplifting and encouraging and being a source of support so that you guys can find, your collective, your community rather. Because as a collective, we are healing together. We are in this together. We are going through some of the similar things at the same time, depending on our timelines, depending on what timelines we're on, right? But I'm feeling pretty good today, guys, and I hope that you all are as well. And again, I hope that if you are not, that you're taking the steps to do so to get to a much better place, because you deserve beautiful things for your life. I know that I do. So I'm going to keep working toward creating the life that I've always dreamed of. I hope that you do, and that you don't leave me alone by myself to create my life. But are you going to create your life too? Are you going to push aside the fear and take the baby steps that you need toward the life that you know that is available for you? Are you going to heal your trust issues so that you can step into that new version of yourself, so you can get the keys to all the doors that are made available for you once you do enough healing work to open those doors? 223, as I'm saying that. Don't you want to stop being sad every day? Don't you want to stop crying a tsunami of tears every day because you're heartbroken? Because you feel deep in your soul that you were destined for a much better life, but you just don't know what to do and how to get there. I'm telling you how to get there. Healing. And like I said, as you heal each of your wounds, the path will become clear on which direction to go and what to do. As you are continuing to seek God's guidance to help you. So if no one, I'm going to end it here, you guys. 2333 as I'm ending it. If no one has told you today that your existence is much appreciated, I'll be the first. That you are so loved. That you are so needed. That you are so precious. That your birth has purpose and meaning. That you're so handsome, that you're so beautiful, that you are capable, that you are powerful more than you will ever know. I'll be the first to tell you that today if nobody told you. And I will keep telling y'all that. But I shouldn't be the only one telling you that. You should be telling yourself that too. Flies. I can't stand flies. And every time I record, it's like they want to come and bombard, me with their nastiness. I hate flies. They're just nasty and nerve-wracking. But anyway. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. 444 as I'm saying this. 244 as I'm saying this. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night, depending on where you are in this beautiful, precious world. Be grateful for all that you are. Be grateful for all that you have. Things will get better, but only if you take the steps to heal so that they can get better. Alright guys, so I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys on Friday. And possibly over the weekend as well. Alright, so love, peace, and grace, guys. Bye.